At vibrafinance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at vibrafinance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibrafinance, we are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. It's another boring day in the bear market, but if you're in the Pulsechain casino, you're in Mega or the golf course or some of these other alts that are going ballistic, seems like the bull run is here, and it's been here for a few weeks. But looking around all of crypto, the fake out of the ETF news, I think kind of was a letdown for people. It's kind of reflecting market sentiment, but it did show that any moment we could just rip with any hint that that's actually coming or dates that it's coming. So tonight got a special guest joining us. He was out at the PulseCon party last year in Vegas, kicking it with us. What up, Harley?
How's it going, my man? How you doing tonight?
Good, bro. Good, man. Good to finally get back in touch here. I know you've been busy. You've been traveling, hitting the crypto parties, meeting Brad Garlinghouse. I mean, been living the life, it seems.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy couple of months. Finally slowed down a little bit, but I think come first of the year, it's going to start getting crazier, especially as the market starts getting more exciting again. I guess I'll go ahead and start with a quick introduction. My name's Harley Hermanson. I'm a director at Elite Web3 Solutions. It's pretty much a Web3 software development agency. We have some of our flagship products we're building that includes Move to Earns, where you get paid to work out. They include Learn to Earns, incentivizing education, as well as Give to Earns, which is essentially what I'm over. I work a lot with nonprofits. We have a donation invoicing application called BlockFund, where we're looking to revolutionize the way donations happen on the blockchain. And how we're doing this is whenever you go ahead and donate, you get proof of donation NFT. And by the way, this UI is old. It's an MVP. It's a minimal viable product at the moment, but BlockFund V2 is going to be coming out within the next few months, hopefully before Q1. And we're going to actually be having a new website going live within the next couple of days.
That's cool, bro. That's cool, because I like how you're focusing on stuff that matters. A lot of people, they get passionate about projects, but they're not, in the real world, they don't really do much. They don't have real utility. And I thought the crystals thing that you did was an awesome idea, and people seem to really enjoy it. And so Harley here's got a track record of being involved in creating projects that are a passion of his, stuff that he really cares about, and actually sees it through. So it's not like these things, they're launched and it's nothing's gonna happen. Like, these are true passions, right?
Yeah, like you mentioned, I previously worked on a project, XD Crystals. It was the first digital NFTs on the XDC network. You get the NFT. You also got a crystal that came with it. It has slowed down due to bear market. Everything in NFTs slowed down. Plus, I got more important projects on my plate at the moment. But yeah, we may want to go ahead and get into that story you mentioned earlier on how we actually met. So it's actually a pretty funny story. We were talking in some Telegram rooms during the bull market, whenever that was a thing, whenever everybody was sharing alpha in there. And then from there, we happened to both be in Vegas. I was at the Ripple Apex event, and he happened to be at the Pulse event. So he hit me up for the Cabana party, and we ended up having a really good time. That was my first exposure to the Hex community. They showed me plenty of love. Right now, I got so much going on in my own projects. I really don't have time to look into other projects, but I was really impressed by all the love that they showed. I was actually in Atlanta a few weeks ago um, for Revault World. The same time they had a Pulse tour. I was invited by a few people out from the Atlanta Blockchain Association and with Pi Networks. And unfortunately I had some stuff going on, so I didn't get to go. But I just think it's crazy how many events Hex and their community has, and how it kind of aligns with other events going on in the space.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing that really drew me into the community. It's that I didn't see anything like that. We took a gamble, and in June of 2021, we flew out there. There was a meetup people were putting together, and everyone that went out there just took a risk. And when we got out there, it was like one of the best 3 days I've ever had, meeting all these people. And there was not a single like drama, a single beef. Everybody got along, and it was like, holy shit, this was in Vegas too.
I know.
And then,
It's
and
crazy how those type of things can come together. We recently just had one for the XDC network. My friends Mitch as well as Trey from on XDC through a XDC convention, the very first one. It was a success. We had Descent out there, we had Expector, we had a whole bunch of people from the industry. We had or Uphold was out there, Andre Casterman, Joe Deaton. There was a pretty good cast of people. Of course, we got Ray from Linqto. He was an amazing host. But it was a great event, and yeah, it's crazy how fast these communities really build, and it just makes the sense of community even stronger whenever people are able to get together and celebrate, because this technology is going to be changing a lot of industries, and to see us able to have these events going on even during a bear market just makes me excited for what the future holds, and how these events are going to be during a bull market.
yeah, bro. And especially like with the Hex community, there's like this like stigma with Richard Hart. He's a scammer. So from the outside, if you don't know anything about it, like you're gonna probably stay away unless you really do your own research. And most people aren't, they don't really have the time, they don't care, whatever. So being able to see it firsthand, it's like, okay, this is what it's really about. And then you can kind of like ignore all the outside stuff and like going to the Sologenics party. You know, people in the Hex community or other communities hate XRP. So the fact that we go like, so I don't care. I'm a fan of all the crypto. I want to see what's going on in all the communities. Like everyone's here in the bear market's passionate about it. So that to me means something versus in the bull market when people are here to just make money, pump and dump and leave. You know, it's just it's nice to see who's really here, building, is passionate about it. And the bear market helps you kind of make those decisions.
You made a really good point when it comes to tribalism thing, which is a big thing I don't understand. Because if we want this technology to be successful, like we're such an early stage. I mean, you look at the total market cap of crypto in general, it's like 1 trillion. That is nothing compared to all of the different markets that they have. And once the institutional money comes in, that's when things are really going to start getting interested. A lot of people are going to get priced out. But going back to the tribalistic thing, we're going into the point of this technology where everything's going to be interoperable. Everything's going to be working with each other. I mean, there's really not going to be one blockchain to rule them all, as some people may think. And honestly, the more successful one blockchain is, it's just going to bleed onto the others, because once people realize the power of this technology, they're going to be hooked, and they're going to be looking for other ways that can improve their daily lives. because this technology is really revolutionary, and it's not just blockchain technology; it's also AI as well as the Internet of Things, IoT devices, being able to connect to wearables. This is where we're really going to in the digital future. It's
Tokenization of assets.
yes, real world assets being tokenized, being able to lock liquidity, being able to take DeFi loans on, let's say, a harvest of crops or on property. I mean, the future's really, there's going to be a lot more opportunities to go ahead and level the playing field.
Yeah, bro. And like the stuff that when I really jumped in after when COVID started in like 2020, and my car dealership I was working at temporarily closed. So I was like, okay, I'm going full time into this. I'm only doing research. And I remember, like, I was the commander of the XRP army, I thought in my head in 2020. Like, I was drinking up all the Kool-Aid. The light switch was getting flipped. We're going to $589. We're gonna it's gonna take over the world. And slowly I realized, like, okay, all this stuff that I'm hoping for, if it happens, it's gonna happen with Ripple Labs, not XRP.
I feel like
XRP,
I feel like that's the best introduction you can have. I like to joke sometimes and say XRP is like the gateway drug into crypto, because a lot of people, that's how they learn about it. But then once they really start looking at the tokenomics, how many tokens are out there, the escrow getting released every month, Ripple selling on their own, on pretty much using their token holders as exit liquidity. You start looking at other networks, and plus the whole Riddler stuff. It is amusing, but at the same time, it's kind of immature as well. Networks aren't going to be taken serious if it's so that's kind of why I aligned with the XDC network. It can do everything XRP can do, except for it actually has smart contracts. So builders can build and they're not limited. I know XRP is eventually going to have hooks, which is essentially smart contract light, but it's still going to be limited, which I can see why it's going to be limited. The network has the DEX integrated into the protocol. So essentially it's so simple because they want it to be simple. They don't want all the loops, especially if it's going to be integrated into a payment system. So but at the same time, if you want to build on it, it's a headache.
Yeah, that's what I hear too, is building is a headache. And but like, I watched some Mickey B. Fresh's streams. He's one of the only XRP guys in Flare I still watch, because I really think that those decentralized open source liquidity pools are going to be really big. Like, I also too, that I just know that within like 10 years, when someone wants to get a car loan, they want to refinance their house, they're going to go out shopping for loans, but they're going to be going to people who own crypto. And we are going to be the people giving them our loans. If XRP is worth $10 a coin and you have 20,000 of them, you got a couple $100,000 or a couple $1,000,000. You can then take that and through smart contracts negotiate basically a loan for people, and it's going to eliminate the banks. And that's the stuff that, like, I see where it's going there, and how it's just going to eliminate all the friction with real estate closings. You're not going to need to go sit down and sign 75 papers over and over and over and pass them around the room. All that can be eliminated with NFTs on the blockchain. So these coins, these tokens, they're going to appreciate in value. And when they get to that certain point where we're going to be able to just provide liquidity, provide collateral, be our own banks, that's when crypto, I think the gains aren't going to be parabolic. It'll be like the stock market, but us lending out our crypto, that's what's going to be the valuable thing, where our cryptos and our bags will always be able to work for us. And that's the thing that on like XRPL with Flare, whoever can pull off these liquidity pools that are incentivized, where as they get bigger, the yield grows. So these hedge funds, all these money markets or accounts, you can pull money out of those and put them into these decentralized liquidity pools that are the opposite of what they are today, where you flood it with coins, the yield's going down, down, down.
I mean, decentralized finance is definitely the future. That's we've seen already that centralized finance is done. They hit the 50-year mark since we got off the gold standard. We are going to have to, and the dollar is dying to keep on printing it even more. And I mean, obviously, we see all the theatrics going on in the news and the media and stuff. So it's we're we're going to get to a place where we're going to be this is going to be the future of money. This is going to be the future of the internet. And I agree, we are going to be the quantum bankers. If you're in this early, where there is potential for this to really change lives. In more ways than just one. And building it, I kind of see it from a different direction. I see the value in being able to use the protocols and like being able to use the tokens as what they're meant to be for gas instead of speculative assets.
Yep.
But at the same time, you need both ends. You need the builders to go ahead and build the decentralized applications on the network, because in order to have a successful layer one, there has to be independent companies building layer twos or DApps on the network. So essentially, both sides complement each other, but I like looking at the side of value, like one XDCs, one XDC, one XRPs, one XRP, one XLMs, the same thing. I don't really try to look at it in monetary value anymore. I try to stay away from charts because honestly, that stuff can get to people's mental health, and it's just not something I really look at anymore.
No, bro. And I dream of the day when you go online and it's okay, whatever I'm buying is 100,000 Satoshis or, 1 million drops or whatever, where they are priced in cryptos. I really think we're going that way in the future. So, yeah.
Yeah,
What up, Mobius? What up? What up? Somewhere in Hexaco, Jonathan Kampala. Lindsay, hello, hello. Fishing with Camo, Joe, Hex Glenn, Russ, what's up, fellas? Thank you. And 1% ladies out there. Appreciate you guys stopping in.
they got to have the ladies. They got to have at least one.
Yeah, that's the one thing that about the Hex community I love is we by far have the most women. It's great.
Can't beat that because
No.
there's way too many dudes, and that really is why education for women is needed on this technology, because it's really empowering to become your own bank, to have these decentralized um, finance applications available. Like, it just unlocks new opportunities that weren't previously there, and like a majority of the world is unbanked. So there is a lot of room for capitalization on that. And really, it just comes to knowledge, being able to understand it.
Yep.
That's
And see and be exactly and be able to see where this stuff is headed and not get fudded out and be like, oh, the ISO coins, they're all just inflation coins where you're just getting dumped on by the team and the founders. It's like, yeah, that could be true temporarily, but what do you think is going to inflate worse over the next 10 years? Your precious dollar or these cryptos that actually have finite supplies? So to me, it's a no-brainer. And I'm willing to sacrifice upside or opportunity costs for other things temporarily because I'm that confident that these things are going to be the blue chip, the Amazons, the Nvidias, the Tesla, the best stocks, the best companies in the world. We're going to look at those as cryptos, as stocks.
well,
Trading 24/7 and being tokenized. They see crypto 24/7 is where it's at. They're losing tons of money, tons of volume, and they want to become like cryptos. So whoever
90%, yeah, all the businesses are going to have to adapt. If they're not early on integrating blockchain technology, and doesn't even have to be a public blockchain, it could be a permission network like Hyperledger. But if you're not utilizing the technology, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get leveraged out. The same way lots of jobs are going to be leveraged out by AI in this technology, it's going to go the same way for businesses. If you're not using these tokens setting up your business as a DAO, setting up loyalty or reward tokens, creating NFT passes with yield bearing utility. So you can go ahead and stake the NFT and get a yield in the company's tokens. Of course, that'll probably be a security. I'm sure there's going to be regulations coming out in regards to that, since right now it's kind of the Wild West. But
what about like fan tokens and stuff? How much closer that's going to bring you to creators, to musicians, to athletes, to artists, to actors? Like they have huge followings. All of them having their own tokenized communities. Like there's so much out there, and I'm sure you being in the space, building projects, talking to other developers, like you really see utility and how much it matters, and I do too. And I just don't talk about it as much on stream because no one gives a shit. Nobody wants to hear you talk about, how exciting, this new financial messaging system is going to be. And so
you're right. They just want to hear when moon, and that's fine. Okay. I understand that. But when you look at it from the technology standpoint, you're right. We are moving into an influencer economy, where these fan tokens are going to be really valuable. And you even see it like with streaming, like some of these people streaming like Aiden Ross and Kai Sennett, they're making just as much as the athletes. They're making just as much as like rappers and artists. They're probably making even more, honestly.
They're not having to give away half to their record label.
Right. And Rumble and Kick are giving these contracts that are hundreds of millions of dollars. And I mean, I know my kids, they love video games. I think that most kids do love video games. So, I mean, I know I grew up on them. I don't have much time to play them anymore, playing with my kids sometimes. But yeah, gaming is definitely going to be revolutionized. There's definitely play to earn is going to be incredible. NFTs being integrated into video games.
And even NFT 2.0s where I can take an NFT and like, I don't know, take this right here, this pulse chain chapstick that Lindsay just made. I could take this, create an NFT, and then sell it all and like take a picture of me holding it and then sell it to you. You buy it and then you buy it and then you take a picture of you holding it, add it to the file, and now you put it up on the marketplace. The next buyer can say, oh shit, Adam had it and Harley had it. There's proof of it on the NFT. Like, so they're just getting to the next level.
Yeah, and not only that, it doesn't even have to be physical. It could be physical. It could be NFT gated content. Smart contracts, of course, being the lock, and then whatever metadata is in the NFT that unlocks the key is gives you access to different experiences, whether it be yield bearing or access to an event. I'm pretty involved in the Loud Punks community. It's an NFT community made by Rolling Loud. Essentially, you get the NFT and you get VIP into all of their festivals, and they go worldwide now. But we're going into a time where this is going to be more prevalent. Of course, they're one of the first movers, but I think with how ticket sales are going and with like scalpers and stuff, I think that's going to be the norm going in the future, where ticketing is going to be NFTs. And I think,
well, they already are right now. I just went to a Charlotte Hornets game. Actually, holy shit, it was last November, and it was an NFT on my phone, and I still have it.
Fuck yeah, and that's even better because you can go ahead and you have the proof in your wallet you went there. It can have some value if somebody else wants to go ahead and buy it. I mean, especially if there was a specific highlight in that game. I mean,
you never know, bro. We're just it's the surface is just getting scratched. Like, I don't even think we can fathom where it's gonna go in 10, 15 years.
No, just the data behind it probably is going to be worth something. I mean, data is big business, and I think we're shortly going to get to a point where we're no longer going to be giving our data away for free. I think people are going to realize the value in it, and there's going to be a lot more companies helping people capture that data and protect their data, and to be able to leverage it. So if they do want to go ahead and sell it out, so that companies can use it for simulations and stuff of that nature, at least they gave their consent for it, and we're not just getting data siphoned from us from
Yeah.
everything we do online.
Yeah. And well, I was just looking at this real world assets site here, and it just kind of shows you, the active loans, the total loans out here, where the location of them is. But I never even looked over here that there's 1,768 loans that right now are on the blockchain, and they're real estate, fintech, crypto trading, consumer, carbon projects, auto loans. So they're all over the place, and we're just getting started. I was working or looking to at an interview with Stellar's CEO, Danelle Dixon, and she was talking to Franklin Templeton and how they are tokenizing mutual funds and bonds and putting them on Stellar's blockchain.
I
And
just want to hit on one real quick thing about that. I love Danelle Dix. I love what they're doing with Stellar, especially with the humanitarian aid. I actually was in Austin, Texas for Consensus last year, and was able to step on into a keynote she was given with St. Jude's Hospital. And yeah, it's incredible what they're doing together. And yeah, that's where I like looking at where this technology can take us, is when it can really help people.
yeah, bro. And I really I love what Stellar's doing, because what the development foundation is doing, and they keep like a very low profile. They're not out bragging about the 90 projects that they funded that are developing right now, building out smart contracts. Like, they do it very quietly and very professionally, but it doesn't draw attention, and it just flies under the radar and nobody cares. It's like Stellar now has the most on and off rate for physical crypto in the world.
Yeah,
They have
the
they're
lob
basically MoneyGram.
yeah, the Lobster wallet just works. I mean, you can go into any MoneyGram, and that's pretty much, at least here in the States, it's pretty much any Walmart, Walgreens, gas station. They all have it, and it's just an easy on and off ramp experience. I used it once. Now I don't, but yeah, it just is an easy all around experience. And Stellar, I think, is going to be one of those tokens that retail is going to be using.
Yeah. What for? Yeah, bro. For like peer to peer payments, and like us in the United States, we're kind of like we're lucky we don't have to deal with being a migrant worker or having to send money home to your families. And that's where Stellar is so crucial, because the amount of money it saves these people not getting chopped up in fees.
Exactly. Yeah, they could send USDC on Ethereum, pay the gas fees, but I mean, when you're looking at the gas fees, they're unsustainable for businesses whenever they're that high. If you are looking to start up your business, you're not going to be looking at Ethereum if you have to pay $20 to $50 gas fees whenever you're linking up to an Oracle, whether that be Chainlink, or if it's Go plugin if you're using the XDC network. But no, people are going to get sick of paying those ridiculous gas fees, especially if you need the Oracle to gather that real world information um, in a respectable time manner. Because if the gas fees are low, if they're like less than a cent, fractions of a cent, you can go ahead and have that Oracle hit like every 30 seconds, every minute, every hour, as opposed to Ethereum, where you may have it go ahead and run every hour, every couple hours. And that definitely helps stuff like proof of reserves, where you have to tap into these other systems to go ahead and check to make sure the data comes onto the blockchain and it can hit these conditional smart contracts.
Yep. Yeah, dude, it's so exciting. I've just pulled up the Zinfin thing here, because I just know that what they're going after, the market that they're trying to tackle. But like, what are some of the things that like excite you most about XDC, and like some of the projects they're building, or some of the things they're trying to tackle, partnerships? What excites you?
Yeah, there's a lot. So, like I mentioned earlier, we met when I was at the Apex event for Ripple. We're considering building on their network. That's why we went to the event. After that, we decided with the lack of smart contract, there's going to be a few things we use XRP for, but which would probably be primarily DID with identification. But for a majority of this stuff, it really lacked the smart contracts, which is primarily why we are primarily building on the XDC network. We're also partnered with LGCY, so we're going to be building applications on there as well. But the reason we chose XDC is because of how fast it is because of the low transaction fees. It is because of how green it is, it doesn't use much energy. And then, of course, it comes down to the partnerships, and um, it also comes down to some of the advisors like Andre Casterman. And yeah, we're going to a point where we just had the king go ahead and sign off on the ITF on the International Trade Document Act, where they're going to be, as of September 20th, they can go ahead and start tokenizing and digitizing these trade finance documents, such as letter of credits and bills of lading. And Lloyd's Bank and multiple other banks have already started. But there's a lot going on the XDC network. There's a lot. It has a solid community. Like I mentioned, I went to their first convention in Austin, Texas, a few months ago, and it's just incredible to see how fast it's grown. It's been mainnet since 2017, and essentially it runs on master nodes, and it's a hybrid network. So they have the public and the private side. It connects to R3 Corda, and also they are coming out with XDC Protocol 2.0. Dr. Fisher and Pramod out at Princeton. I actually met them at Consensus. They are the protocol team behind it, and essentially it's bringing military grade forensics onto the network, as well as better security, and it's going to be faster, which I don't even see how it's possible. But it's exciting times in the industry. I like all the utility tokens. I like XRP as well. I like XLM. I like HBAR. I think there's definitely a lot of value in all the protocols. They all have their own place and their own niche of what they're going to be doing. So yeah, I'm excited for everything that's coming, because this may be the last. Um, this may be the last real bull run we see before the prices stabilize. So to be in it this early is just a blessing, and to be able to be building on this technology is even better, because we went through the last bull run, and of course we saw a lot of good stuff. We saw a lot of bad stuff. Um, but we saw a lot of bad stuff, so we know what to look out for, what to build. And like, we're getting to a point where coding is going to be a language of the future. As much as English and Spanish are important, coding is going to be the same way, because we're going to be signing off on these transactions. If you can't at least read coding, let alone write it, you're going to be at a major disadvantage. So definitely, yeah, if you're, it's definitely a skill that's going to be very valuable. Devs are always going to be needed, and yeah, I'm just excited to see where this industry goes in the short term as well as long term, 5-10 years out. It's just incredible to be part of it.
Yeah, bro. And that's why I like for most of the people in here, they're like Pulse Chain, Richard Hex, people that watch my streams, but I talk about the ISO coins and just other stuff that I really like. But it's nice to have you on to kind of solidify, because I talk about XDC a lot on here and I just bring them up, and I know it, people are like, oh God, here it goes again. but I don't care. Like they're going to thank me in the future. And I know that. So just having you on here, who's been building projects now for multiple years in this ecosystem, on different blockchains, in different communities, constantly talking to people, like you're in a different circle than where I am in crypto, where I'm constantly doing research. I'm trying to talk to people on teams and see what's going on, talk to other communities, get feels for it, where you're actually building and you require like the best technology out there. So I'm sure just every day, like certain things just come across your radar and you're like, oh shit, there's something here. Or vice versa. You see something, you're like, oh, that's never gonna work. And just being in like a different spot in the industry, it's nice to just kind of hear your reflection, your opinions, and if it works for you now and you like it, I can't imagine there's other people out there that it's not the same for.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that because I feel like we do kind of get stuck into echo chambers, and it's not just the Hex community, it's not just XRP community, it's not just XDC community, it's not just Algo, HBAR. It happens in every community. Like the algorithms are set to only show you the news on
Yep.
whatever you're liking, whoever you're commenting back and forth on. So you get sucked in these silos and you don't really realize how big other stuff are on other networks and other platforms. So it's awesome to go ahead and connect, because that's the only way we're going to be able to educate each other, is by coming together and connecting. Um, yeah, because right now we're living in a borderless time. Like knowledge can be spread so easily. It just, you have to have the ears to want to hear it, and you have to be open minded as well.
Yeah, and yeah, bro. And that's I think a lot of the problem with people in crypto is they got a little too excited. They went a little too balls deep into one coin because they, whatever reason, it was going to the moon, and it didn't turn out so well, and they're stuck holding those bags. So it's very hard to talk about other stuff or pretend you like it when you're destroyed and annihilated by one coin and banking on it, recovering so you can get out of this hole you're in.
And that's why I hate it, because we've all been exit liquidity at one point. And I think that's a horrible way to get introduced to this technology, is by a scam token or by some bullshit where you get rugged. There needs to be better onboarding solutions, because if the first experience you have is you lose all your fucking money, you're not going to come back to this technology. Um, and, but at the same time, it goes back to being able to read these contracts. It goes back to doing your own research, not just listening to a YouTuber. You have to actually go into the Explorer. You have to go ahead and check to make sure the team, like the tokenomics are how it says. Don't have different functions like being able to mint extra tokens. They don't have a drainer on them. There are now software you can go ahead and run on the smart contract. So it really comes to being aware of what you're doing, what you're signing, uh, because one mistake can drain your wallet. So just be very careful. Make sure um, to if you're interacting with these smart contracts, it does help to go ahead, and if the team has a security audit in place. Now, our team, we use Rectify. They're out of Austin, Texas. I've had the pleasure to meet them a few times, and they're incredible at what they're doing. But yeah, make sure any platform you're using has been audited by a reputable company. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see how this technology evolves, and because I
It,
think
oh,
honestly,
yeah,
people are going to be
that's
able
what
to. They're not going to realize they're even using crypto. A lot of it's going to be in the background. It's going to be a lot more simpler. I think it kind of has to. I think there's always going to be the degens that like using um, the this technology how it currently is, But for it to gain mass adoption, I think it's going to have to be simpler. I think not everybody is responsible enough for like self-custodying their assets. So there are going to have to be custodians that have like insurance on those assets. I think, yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see where we progress.
Yeah. And I pay a lot of attention too with institutional staking, institutional DeFi at companies like Hex Trust, MetaMask Institutional. There's a handful of them out there. And when I look at the websites, it just blows me away how you as a company can literally call these guys up and be like, all right, I want to get into this NFT project. I want to stake over there and I want to mint this over here. And they'll just do it for you and be like, they'll be your custodian. And
Yeah.
until like I see what's happening is they need to get it set up for the big boys. The banks need to be able to have their staking platforms in place. The institutional DeFi has to be up and running. And then they can say, look, it works great for us. It's safe. Now you guys, the little guys, can chew on the breadcrumbs.
Well, we saw what happened last week whenever Cointelegraph went ahead and made that announcement
Yeah.
about the ETFs being approved, and when that really wasn't the case, and it ended up becoming market manipulation, and hundreds of millions got liquidated. So I think you're right. They're trying to get their place. Uh, they're trying to, but there's a lot going on right now. I think this is going to be a turning point when it comes to crypto here in the near future. I think there's going to be a lot more banks, a lot more financial institutions going ahead and adopting this technology, wanting to be one of the first movers because it's obvious this is where the future is going.
Yeah, bro. I already see that how that like I think the general consensus for like hedge funds and money managers right now, it's panic zone. It's panic time. There's nothing. Yield is so hard to come by unless you're in a money market account or something. But if you screwed around with the commercial mortgage backed securities or something, like it's really bad. So it's like liquidation mode across the board, and they know their only way out is crypto. So that's why they're pushing so hard for all these ETFs. And it's like 10 companies now that want to launch them, but not only Bitcoin. I think every single coin that Grayscale has in their trust, I think there's like 20. I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if there was an ETF for every single one of those altcoins by 2025.
I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just at the Denver airport, and all over the whole airport was signs for Grayscale Trust. I mean, it's getting to a point where it's so in your face, and they're making it obvious, but they kind of have to make it obvious. Um, but it's your decision to go ahead and invest. I mean, it's not financial advice, of course, but yeah, this is a time you want to, if you want to be early, because right now I think we're pretty much at a bottom. I don't see. Maybe there could be one more black swan event. There could be one more panic before everything goes full send. But I've been in this space long enough to know that it doesn't take long for this shit to pop off. Like if you're looking at the monetary value, that can increase fairly rapidly, especially with how early we are in the market.
Yeah. Do you use Elapal wallets?
I don't. I use Decent.
So, which address should I use, General or Segwit? Um, Kayla Joe, I don't know. I use Ledger and Ngrave, so I'm not too sure. I don't know. Titan is the yeah. I'm not sure, bro. I ask Siri. I'm sure she'll tell you.
Siri doesn't know. Chat GPT will definitely know, especially if you got Chat GPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT. There we go.
That
There you go.
motherfucker knows everything.
Yeah. So bro, so yeah, I know I'm real bullish on Globiance. That's like really the only altcoin I own. I have my bag of XDC, I have my GBacks, I think staked, but
I
that's
love
it.
I love Globians. One of my company's platforms, Circularity Finance, we're actually the very first launch pad on Globians, and right now we're just resubmitting the KYC, and we should be launching within the next few days and next week.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So
Very,
what
very
about
first DEX to go ahead and solve the impermanent loss issue, as we went ahead and created impermanent loss NFT insurance. So you can go ahead and take a policy where if it slips, you can go ahead and recover up to 80% of those losses in Comtech Gold, which is one of our partners out in the UAE. They have a vault out in the UAE, out in Dubai, where they have this tokenized gold, and you can actually go in, and if you want, you can redeem it. You can also go out there and view it either over video chat, or you can go ahead and view it in person. Of course, there's a administration fee that comes with it, but it's completely legit. They have a lot of ties to all of the bullion networks.
I've heard of Comtag, bro. Some one of my boys in the chat had brought it up a couple times too, and I thought it was really cool.
It's pegged like 1-to-1 to a gram of gold. So
They're grams, right? And there's a limited supply.
There's a limited supply, and our CEO Amin, he actually went out to Dubai a few months ago. He went ahead and was able to meet everybody out there and was able to shake their hands, and they're real people. And yeah, it's a great company. I really like what they're doing. It's a really great store of value. I mean, and honestly, it's another hedge against the dying dollar.
Yeah, bro. And then that's the thing too. I keep telling people that are like, man, bro, the inflation on this coin, it's just an inflation coin. You know, we're gonna get dumped on. It's like, bro, wait till they print money again. You know, we went from $4 trillion in circulation in 2020 to 20 trillion right now. So every dollar we hold right now is worth 80% less than it was at the start of the nonsense.
Right. It's only going to get worse too. We're one false flag, one blackout, one scamdemic away from uh from where we're going to need to go ahead and transition onto a new system. And I think it's pretty obvious at this point what the new system is.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's
System,
getting bad now.
If it ain't this system, it's a CBDC system, which
Yeah.
is nobody wants to go ahead and go on there. I mean,
We
some people probably will like it at first, but eventually they're going to see light.
People are going to love it. I'll tell you why. Because people are going to beg for it. They're going to create whatever controversy, create a problem, a credit issue. People are going to be so broke that they're going to say, hey, well, with this new CBDC, we'll wipe out your debt as long as you close down that account and use this. Or we'll give you a $5,000 credit towards this if you close down your old account and accept this. So they will make it so people beg for it, and that's how they're going to get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen with COVID, with the stimulus checks and PPP loans and all of the helicopter money that was going out to people, like it was
Rampant fraud.
a test. So whenever you incentivize people like that, it tends to work, especially if it's from an official source. But I think once they realize the programmability behind it, where they can go ahead and program it to either burn or to expire on a certain date, or you can only spend certain funds for certain things. I think that's really when people are going to start looking for alternatives. And who knows? Hopefully, the gates will still be open at that time. Hopefully, the gates won't be shut.
Yeah.
We'll just have to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, I don't think it'll get that bad to where, like, maybe if you're on UBI or you're on, welfare, whatever it is, they might say, yeah, your money is only good at these stores. You can't spend it on this or that. But the thing that is beneficial, though, we were talking with the Corium team on the XRPL over there, and they basically work with enterprises.
Was it Fabio?
No, with oh God, Lindsay did an interview with her. The
Talk about
girl,
her name.
I forget her name. I don't. That's so bad.
I know who you're talking about though.
Chris.
Okay.
That's her name, Chris, and she's really nice, and she's like on the marketing team, and she was an awesome person, and just what they're trying to do and build. It's like you need programmable money if you're a retailer and you have like rewards program stuff that expires in a year. You have gift cards that expire in a certain amount of time. You have coupons that you issue that are only good for a day or for a week. So there are instances where like programmable coins, money, coupons like that is actually going to be very beneficial. But it's like everything else, it's a tool. It can be used for good or to enslave you.
You mentioned a really good point. Whenever I'm looking at NFTs, a lot of people think of like the monkey pictures. I see them as accounting tools. Essentially, they act as receipts, especially when you're talking about what I primarily deal with, which is programmable donations. And how these programmable donations work is you can either set it by a dollar amount or by percentage. So let's say you're a nonprofit, you want to go ahead and onboard onto Block Fund and start reaching out to a new demographic of people in the crypto industry that don't want to have to cash out. They want to just be able to donate on chain so they don't have to deal with capital gains taxes. Essentially, you can go ahead and set up these smart contracts to be programmable by percentage. So you can do 20% goes to overhead costs, 20% goes to salaries, 20% goes to scholarships, and then 40% you can go ahead and do for whatever impact that nonprofit or charity is trying to make. Or you can do it by dollar amount. You can do 0 to 100 goes to this cause, 100 to 101 to 1,000 goes to this one, 1,001 to 10,000 goes here, then 10,001 to and up can go to another cause. And essentially, with the nature of NFTs, if you go ahead and make a donation, it will automatically mint you out a proof of donation NFT, which is dynamic. The metadata can be updated. So as nonprofits are making an impact, they can go ahead and post pictures or videos directly on IPFS onto the NFT's metadata so people can see their donation actually did something.
That's really cool, bro. And that this is just again scratching the surface on how where this can go in the future. Like these are like great ideas that are just being introduced. Imagine when the whole world can look at them and take it to the next level, the next level. Like
And we've
it's just
actually
so
had
exciting.
and we've actually had case studies with real nonprofits on similar things. We actually recently worked with the Green Cross in UK, and we are able to go ahead and mint out their climate positive awards for like Google and for different companies that went ahead and contributed to them or made an impact on the climate. We went ahead and minted out their NFTs on the XDC network. And of course, with the nature of that network, it was for fractions of pennies. And they were actually able to do an award ceremony on the metaverse to go ahead and distribute these awards. And all of these corporations were able to go ahead and make an XDC wallet and accept the NFTs. And that's stuff that in the future can be used for like smart contract gated experiences, like we mentioned before, for yield bearing opportunities, or even just to show off as a badge on LinkedIn. I know a lot of people like to show their contributions, and if you can show it, and with the nature of the technology, it's transparent. That's really where I think it's could be a game changer when it comes to philanthropy.
Yeah. Well, that's really exciting. And like just the same thing too. I've been paying attention to kind of quant and the hyperledger, what they're doing there. And just the connection with Gilbert Verdian and Rishi Sunak. Like we were talking earlier, that it's all about who you know in this world. You know, you can have the greatest technology. You could have an engine that runs on hydrogen that gets 200 miles, a little cartridge, or 1,000 miles per little tank. But we're stuck using gas because there's a monopoly on the industry, and it just is what it is. So just because you have the best technology, it doesn't mean it's going to be used. It's relationships. It's who you know. So
Exactly.
I just see that, like, how pro crypto the prime minister is in England, and how he was so excited. He tried to launch an NFT in the middle of the bear market, and they were like, dude, you can't do this. We're broke right now. This is not a good look to be trying to push this. So they had to pull back on that. And it's like, okay, like they're itching to get this done, to roll out, the next evolution of money, and like good or bad, it is what it is. It's coming. It's not like we're going to be able to just, put up our picket fence and pitchforks and just be like, nope, we're not doing this. This is not, it's not reality.
It's not, and you made a good point of it's really is a lot about who you know and the connections you make. That's really why I'm on the boots. I'm boots on the floor at most of the conferences that I get invited to, or that XDC sponsoring, or that I can attend. Yeah, because you really got to make these connections. You got to have people know your face. You got to shake hands, and show people that you're real people, because you come across a lot of people online, but whenever you're actually able to meet in person, like we met back in Vegas, that's really when you're able to make these connections, and that's really the difference maker.
Exactly, Raw. I totally agree. And it's so awesome when it's done right. These meetups, these parties, they're so productive, they're so much fun. And like, I really don't think, there's been 3 Vegas parties now, meetups for Hexicans, and I don't think one person has gotten arrested. And like, that's unheard of for like thousands of adults going to Vegas for nothing to happen, no trouble. Like, and that's the stuff that, that gives me hope that, it's not all this like doom and gloom out there.
That's
There's good people, and we will find each other and build and come through a better on the other side.
I'd say that's a pretty damn good metric. I'd take those odds. So I agree. I think whenever it comes down to it, we're going to be on the right side of history. I think, I mean, because I'm not even too worried about what it's going to do for my generation, our generation. I'm more concerned on the next generation. There needs to be better systems in place than what we had. So that's essentially why my team is building, to go ahead and make these incentivized structures to go ahead and have additional micro economies on the blockchain, to have additional revenue sources for people whenever technology, AI, IoT devices, quantum computing, whenever these technologies start leveraging people out of their jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's awesome, bro. You're doing things to try to help people, stuff you're passionate about, and it's nice to chop it up and just see what's on your radar, what's exciting for you, and kind of where you see things going. I think we're pretty much on the same page with how early we are, and just how much is being built right now that doesn't get publicity, doesn't get any shine. It's all SBF right now. It's all Gary Gensler. It's all just the theater, because I think if there wasn't that much being built, I don't think any of this stuff would really be where it is. It's a distraction, and that makes me really bullish.
I agree 100%. Yeah, they're not going to put the real stuff. You won't hear about what's really going on until after the fact, unless you really do your homework. I think knowledge is out there, but you definitely have to use discernment as well. A lot of misinformation on the internet, so just do your research, and always ask questions and look at it from an open-minded view. I think there's a lot of opportunities. as well as a lot of risk when it comes to this technology. But I think the opportunities outweigh the risk in the long term.
Yeah, bro. I 100% agree. And we're in the right place at the right time. And I think that like literally any day now, this market can pop off. I mean, I think Bitcoin should be at 40K right now. If that ETF news was real and it broke out, a lot of people got caught with their pants down and we're going to FOMO in. So I think there's a lot of suppression going on in the markets. None of these coins reflect their true value in dollar and actually their real value and utility in the real world. So that's where I'm ignoring that. I'm stacking the coins I believe in, and we'll either be the ones that got laughed at or the ones that are the luckiest people out there.
I'll take my chances on that. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes. It's a beautiful time. I think everybody that's in the industry can feel that we're on the verge of a shift of of something massive coming, and we saw what happened in the last bull run. I think it's going to be 10 times as fast, 10 times at the intensity as last time, because we're really at the end of the road when it comes to traditional and centralized systems. I think we're approaching the end days where all it takes is one thing to bust and the whole system's coming down. And if at the end of the day, there's only one alternative, and I'm pretty sure we all know what that is.
Yep, exactly. Trustless, baby. That's the way to go. And yeah, I think I'm completely on board that it's just exciting. Be careful out there, and we're going to be rewarded handsomely. This is where it's going. You know, countries are loading up on Bitcoin. Fiats are out of control around the world. Hedge funds, money managers, they're panicking right now, and you could tell that they're praying for these ETFs and crypto to come along and bail them out. And I think it will do that. All these ETFs, you'll probably have 20 different altcoins that have ETFs, and it's going to just, I think, spark a bull run that we'll never see again, that it's going to go down in the history books.
Exciting times ahead.
Yeah, bro. Well, we've been going for about an hour now. Appreciate you coming on, bro. We'll definitely do it again, like month or so, and see if we get up November or wreck November.
We'll see where it goes. I mean, we're getting pretty close to the end of Q4, so I think as we start hitting the end of the year, I think it's just going to start accelerating.
Yeah,
I think
it's going to get exciting quick.
it is. I think it's already. I think we're in the pre-round of something that's really gonna get crazy, and I mean, I'm all for it. I love seeing more people coming on board. I love seeing more adoption because even if um, not everybody sticks around, there are always those who stick around after the bull run because they're exposed to the power of this technology, how revolutionary it is, and how empowering it is to be in control of your finances, to be your own bank. And yeah, I
have a
think
community to
I
be
think
with.
a lot of people are going to realize the value in building businesses on the blockchain and how it opens them up to a higher demographic and how they can go ahead and codify their ideas because everybody has an idea, not everybody knows how to code. So that's kind of where my company comes in. If you do have an idea, you are serious about getting it launched, go ahead and hit my company up, eliteweb3.com, and we can go ahead and have an introductory meeting and kind of go from there.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Everybody appreciate all you guys that stopped here in the chat. And we'll definitely do it again in the future. And it's only gonna get better from here, guys. Like I think we're gonna look back in another year and say, oh yeah, at this point we were in a bull market. It just didn't feel like it. Or the bull market started, for Bitcoin at the FTX collapse at 15K. That was the bottom. So crypto's never easy, unless we're in that euphoria peak for like 2 months. It's gonna feel like we're just chopping sideways. So
Make sure to take profits. Don't get left holding the bag.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, if you're not following, smash that like button, subscribe, and give Harley a shout on Twitter at What is it? Harley.xdc.
Yeah,
and then at eliteweb3.com.
Yeah, and my Twitter username's at Glogita with a 0. Same for Instagram. Yeah, just reach out to me if you have any questions about building, about becoming a developer, about nonprofits. If you have any nonprofits that you think maybe benefit from this, definitely send them my way. We also have a Move to Earn. So if you're into fitness, definitely hit me up about that. But I just want to say thank you, Adam, for giving me this platform. I really appreciate it and looking forward to chatting with you again soon.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely do it again.
Appreciate you, man.